Takulandirani ku AMTV Malawi kuchimake kwa nkhani zenizeni. Ngati nkhani imeneyo kuno kulibe, dziwani kuti nkhani imeneyo ndi yabodza.
Welcome back, honorable members from Heather Break. Honorable member for Rumpi West, what has gone out of order?
Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, when the leader of this House, son of the soil, Minister of Transport, was responding to a question and he referred to what Mzimba North requested for, I didn't get him clearly whether a component of Chipokaori Bridge is included in what he is doing. He is doing a recommendable job. We have seen the contractor on site. He has mobilized, but we are not sure whether.
Honorable member.
Therefore, is it in order that in his submission, we didn't get him clearly if Chipokaori Bridge is included? And
Honorable
he
member,
did not even make.
Honorable member, it is in order. Thank you so much. I rule you out of order. Honorable leader, guide us.
Madam, second Deputy Speaker, Madam, I should believe that my dear brother from Rumpi West rose on a lighter moment. Meanwhile, I would like to guide as follows, that we now move to questions under Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, and the questions will be responded to on behalf of the Minister responsible by the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. I submit, Madam, Second Deputy Speaker, Madam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Leader. Before we go to questions, I see Honorable Member for Chikwawa West. Honorable Member for Chikwawa West, what has gone out of order?
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. Good morning. I'm rising on a point of order. Some of the honorable members are putting on jeans. Is it allowed in this House that some members can dress on jeans? I have 3 constituencies: Zimba South, Lilongwe, the chair of is it local authorities, and also the Zalanyama. They are putting on jeans. Is it allowed, Honorable Speaker? Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Can I request the honorable members mentioned to stand so that we verify whether they are putting on in jeans, because we have a dressing code in this House. Can I have the honorable member for the Zalanyama? And the honorable member for Zimba South, where is the honorable member for Zimba South? Okay. I'd like to ask the Sergeant at Arms to verify whether the honorable members mentioned they are indeed putting on the jeans. Sergeant at Arms? Thank you so much, Honorable Member for Chikwawa West, for that point of order. Honorable members, Standing Order 204. Standing Order 204 is clear on the dressing code for Parliament. So I would just like to guide the honorable members to dress properly and come back to the chamber. Please, honorable members, be reminded on the dressing code, and you have to use Standing Order 204. So I rule those honorable members out of order. I so rule. Honorable member for Chiradzulu Masanjala, what has gone out of order?
Thank you, our second deputy speaker. Actually, it's not a point of order, but it was just a concern. I really had a question to ask the Minister of Transport and Public Works, and it is a matter of concern, Madam.
What you submitted a question to the Honorable Minister, or you have a supplementary question?
It is a supplementary question.
Okay, you will ask when there is a question to do with the Honorable Minister for Transport and Public Works, but currently we have exhausted all the supplementary questions.
Thank you.
Honorable Member for Lilongwe Nsinja, what has gone out of order?
Thank you, Second Speaker, Madam. We'd like to appreciate Chikwawa West for the point of order, but we just want to appreciate her to see what she has put on regards the shoes. Is it a slip-on or the shoes? Just the appreciation. Is it okay with you to allow Sergeant Adams to go and see how she's dressed, especially the shoes? Because I understand he's putting on slip-ons. Is it in order? Right. Secretary Speaker.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable Member. If you may recall, Honorable Member, last time the Honorable Member was having an issue to do with her leg. And all members are aware of that. And the office of the Speaker is also aware. There was the member for Chikwawa West and the Zomba Malosa, if you may recall. So I rule you out of order, Honorable Member. Honorable members, as per the guidance from the Honorable Leader, we go now to question 189, question under local government and rural development. Honorable Member for Chikwawa West, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people of Chikwawa West. I rise to confirm that question 189 indeed comes from the people of Chikwawa West, Senior Chief Chapananga and Sub-TA Lumwira. Thank you very much, Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. I now recognize Honorable Honorable Minister responsible for Justice on behalf of the Honorable Minister of Local Government. You have the floor, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. The Honorable Member for Chikwawa West is asking the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development as to when the contractor for the Changoyima Infanjawo Water Integration Project is expected to return to the site and complete the outstanding works. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, I rise on behalf of my honorable brother, the Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, to respond to this question. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, let me thank the people of Chikwawa West, especially the people of Senior Chief Chapananga, for their question. I wish to inform this House that the Ministry implemented the Rural Roads and Water Infrastructure Program up to September 2025. Under this program, Chikwawa District Council received authority in October 2024 to implement 2 solar-powered reticulation water supply systems at Mpungu Trading Center in Traditional Authority Ngabu and at Ifanjawo Village in Traditional Authority Chapananga. The objective of these projects, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, was to improve access to safe water, potable water in line with the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which seeks to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water and sanitation for all. Following a competitive procurement process, Chikwawa District Council awarded the contract to Elite Drilling and Civil Construction under contract number CKDC LG Mkombelelo West 2024-2025-03 at a contract sum of 99,188,880 kwacha. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, the contractor experienced implementation challenges after receiving an initial payment as he experienced dry holes. However, I am pleased to inform this august House that the contractor has committed to remobilize to the site and complete the outstanding works. Going forward, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, government has mainstreamed such community infrastructure projects under the Reformed Constituency Development Fund following the devolution of Public Sector Investment Program, PSIP, resources to local authorities. Accordingly, Chikwawa District Council has been advised to prioritize the completion of this project under the reformed CDF to ensure that the people of Chikwawa West, especially the people of Senior Chief Chapananga, benefit from this important investment project. I thank you, Madam Second Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. We'll take 3 supplementary questions, starting from the owner of the question. The Honorable Member for Mulanje West. Yeah, and the last one will be Honorable Member for Dedza Mayan. In that order, please. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Second Deputy Speaker. Just to get clarification from the Minister, he said the contractor will be back on site. He will be mobilizing soon. But at the end of the response, he said the project has to be prioritized in the CDF. I just want clarification on the same, because the funds were already available as he has indicated. Thank you, Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable. Honorable Member for Mulanje West.
Thank you so much, the Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker. My supplementary question is relating to question number 190, but I switched on, knowing that I've been having problems to join. So it's not related to question 180, but it's related to 190.
Then I'll give you the chance when we are on question 190 to ask you a supplementary question.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And now we have Honorable Member for Dedza Mayani constituency. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, thank you very much for allowing the people of Senior Chief Tambala and Senior Chief Chauma to ask a supplementary question to the Honorable Minister of Local Government. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, my first question is a policy-related question. I just wanted to know from the Honorable Minister what criteria or what are the qualifications for a trading center to be turned into a rural growth center, taking into consideration Mayani Trading Center as one of the biggest trading centers in Malawi. And we think it deserves such kind of a status and those special facilities that are associated with the Rural Growth Center. My second question, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, is to do with the senior chief in my constituency. I have two senior chiefs. The senior chief Chauma doesn't have a house, but he's been there for almost 30 years now. I don't know why Senior Chief Chauma, for 30 years, he hasn't been given an official house. For 30 years, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I am worried, so I want to know what is the selection criteria or for allocation of those houses. For 30 years, Senior Chief Chauma doesn't have an official house. Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Madam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. I now recognize the Honorable Member, the Kasina people of Dedza. You have the floor.
Good morning, Second Deputy Speaker. I need your protection because the member from Likoma who came here with a constituency of 9,000 people is busy making noise there. Thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing good people of Dedza Kasina constituency to ask a supplementary to the Minister of Local Government, Minister of Justice, sitting in as Minister of Local Government. I wanted to find out, we had the same issue like the Chikwawa West, where we have contractors who came in, already drilled a borehole, and already set up some pipes for water reclamation at the GVH Mvula and the surrounding of Ndende and others. But since October 2025, the contractor left the site. So I wanted to find out from the Minister of Local Government, when should people of GVH Mvula and surrounding areas expect the contractor to be back on site and finish the project of water reclamation? I submit, Second Speaker. Madam.
Thank you. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Let me thank again the people of Chikwawa West for their supplementary question, which basically they were expressing worry and for the ministry in my answer to reconcile why there's a linkage to the reformed CDF for this project, when in fact funds were already allocated for this project from the central government. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, the linkage to the CDF, to the reformed CDF, is to ensure that with the passage of time, the prices and the value of the project could have changed. Therefore, if there are any shortfalls along the line, then those shortfalls should be taken care of by the devolved funds available in the reformed CDF. I think that should be the rationale for linking this project to the reformed CDF. But I know that the funds were already allocated and the contractor was already on site and is supposed to demobilize to complete the project. Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Let me turn to the people of Deza Mayani. Let me thank the people of Deza Mayani, especially the people of Senior Chief Tambala and Senior Chief Chauma, who have asked 2 questions. Both of them are policy in nature. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, government appreciates the role of our senior chiefs, traditional authorities in this country and the traditional leadership. And therefore, government has got the policy to make sure that our senior chief, our traditional chiefs are properly housed. It is sad to note that Senior Chief Chauma is not yet considered, but I will refer this question to the Ministry of Local Government to seriously consider that Senior Chief Chauma should be considered for a decent housing, depending on the availability of resources. I know I've taken note that he's been there for more than 30 years, and his colleagues in other districts and other regions probably have been considered over these years. And I will make a strong recommendation to my brother, the Minister of Local Government and Traditional Authority, Rural Development, to consider Senior Chief Chauma. The other one, again, was it was basically a policy question, considering that the Mayani Trading Center is a busy trading center, and the people of Deza Mayani were asking my ministry what is the criteria for a trading center to qualify for improvement or upgrading to a rural trading or rural growth center. I will find out, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. I think it depends on the assessment, the location of the trading center, and if the assessment comes with the result that a particular trading center should be upgraded to a rural growth center, then it will be considered. And in this particular case, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I will refer this question to the ministry so that they can do an assessment of Mayan Trading Center. I know Mayan Trading Center lies along the M1 road, and it's very, very significant, and therefore should be considered. Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Let me turn to the people of Deza Kasina. Basically, Deza Kasina were asking in this similar manner of Chikwawa West in their supplementary question, that their project, which was already allocated funds from the central government, and why is it being referred to the reformed CDF? The rationale basically is the same, that Madam Second Deputy Speaker, with the passage of time, it's very likely that the value of the project and with the loss of the value of the kwacha over the years, it could require more resources than what were originally allocated to that project. Therefore, if there's any shortfall, the reformed CDF should be taken care, should be able to take care of the shortfall in that project. I thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. We now move to question 109, Honorable Member for Lilongwe Kampuno constituency. The Honorable Member is not in the chamber. We now move to question 191. Honorable Member for Zomba Nsondole constituency. The Honorable Member is not in the chamber. We now move to question 192. Honorable Member for Blanta Yambayani Musa Magasa constituency. Honorable Member, you have the floor to confirm your question.
Thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. I would like to confirm that question number 192, appearing on today's order paper, is indeed coming from the people of Group Village Mbayani and the Senior Group Village Musa Magas. I submit.
Thank you so much. Honorable Minister of Justice, sitting in for the Honorable Minister of Local Government, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. The people of Blanta Yambayani Musa Magasa are asking the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development whether government will consider upgrading Mbayani and Chemusa markets with modern infrastructure. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, let me thank the Honorable Member for Blanta Yambayani Musa Magasa, especially the people of Group Village Edman Mbayani and Group Village Edman Musa Magasa for their question. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, previously, the Ministry implemented the construction and upgrading of urban and rural markets through the Public Sector Investment Program, PSIP. The program sought to improve market infrastructure, reduce fire risks, enhance sanitation and trading conditions, and relocate traders from unsafe roadside locations. However, following the introduction of the reformed Constituency Development Fund, responsibility for implementing such local development projects has now been devolved to local authorities in line with government's National Decentralization Policy, NDC. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, accordingly, proposals for the upgrading of Mbayani and Chemusa markets should be prioritized through the Constituency Development Fund, Constituency Development Committee, CDC, and incorporated into the annual investment plan of Blanta City Council under the reformed CDF. I therefore encourage the Honourable Member and the people of GVH Mbayani and GVH Musa Magasa to work closely with the Constituency Development Committee in that constituency, Blanta City Council, and other local stakeholders to ensure that these important market infrastructure projects are prioritized for implementation under the reformed CDF. I thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. I will take 3 supplementary questions, starting from the Honorable Member for Mulanje West. And after that, Honorable Member for Nkota Nkaika, is it Nkota Nkula constituency? And the Honorable Member for Chikwawa Central West. In that order, please. Honorable Member for Mulanje West, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, the Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker. I would like to ask the supplementary question to the Honorable sitting in Minister for the Minister of Local Government. Since he has been talking about the reformed Constituency Fund, is it possible if I can do that, which is also related to the transfer of management, whereby we were told that with the reformed Constituency Fund, we need to look to the people from within the constituency apply for the assistant procurement, assistant public works, assistant finance within the constituency. But we've seen that there are those who've been transferred from other constituencies coming to constituency, i.e. Mulanje West. So what should we do? I'm afraid that we've also been advised that even in terms of some projects, they've got to identify the contractors within the constituency, but also even within Mulanje. But with this scenario with LASCOM has done, it might be the case also that some contractors might be coming from Lilongwe. Thanks so much, the Right Honorable First Deputy Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. Honorable Member for Nkota Nkula constituency, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for according the people of Nkota Mphira constituency to say a word. In our constituency, we are blessed to have two senior chiefs, namely Senior Chief Mwadzama and Senior Chief Mwansambo. And we were lucky to have one of these chiefs. The Senior Chief Mwadzama had a house that was built by government. But as I'm speaking right now, it has been burnt by the angry people from the area due to issues to do with sales of land. And that ignites me to invite the Minister of Local Government to come to intervene, because I don't have a side either of the side of the seller or the buyer. But, you know, in the Bible, we believe I can speak as an MP, but his word speaks higher volumes than mine. At the same time, there is a Senior Chief Mwansambo who ever since he has never been given a house by the government.
Member, address the chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Senior Chief Mwansambo, ever since he has never been given a house. I remember when I was young, I'm not very sure how many years exactly, but he has never been given a house. So I would like to ask the government, I don't know which criteria you use to build a house, but whatever it is, he's a vibrant chief. I know most of you know him, but as I'm speaking, he doesn't have a house. So may you please help us by giving him a house. I thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. I would like to guide the House as follows, that the question under deliberation is question 192, and the question is to ask the Honorable Minister of Local Government and Rural Development whether the government will consider upgrading Mbayani and Chemusa market with modern market infrastructure. So supplementary question should be related to the original question. So, Honorable Member, you can raise that question in writing so that you get a proper response from the responsible ministry. Thank you. Honorable Member for Chikwawa Central West. But, Honorable Member, you are not showing that you are standing on a point of order. You have the floor, Honorable.
Is it in order, Madam Speaker, for the Speaker who just resumed the seat to misquote the Bible? I want him to give me a specific verse where they're discussing Abel and Jesus Christ. I submit, Madam Speaker. Which verse is he quoting from the Bible? Otherwise, you are misleading a lot of Christians and those who would want to be Christians. Abel and Jesus Christ. Which blood is thicker than which verse, Honorable Member, are you quoting from? I submit, Madam Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. We are discussing questions under Minister of Local Government and Rural Development, and these are questions for all replies to the Honorable Ministers. We are not discussing about verses in the Bible. I rule you out of order, Honorable. You have the floor, Honorable Chikwawa, Central West.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. We, the people of from Senior Chief Ngabo and Department Chief Lundu, would like to ask the Honorable Minister to consider giving us a decent market at Nchalo Trading Center. As you are aware, Nchalo is the hub is an economic hub of the Shire Valley, but we don't have a decent market. What we have now is just a makeshift that doesn't befit the status of Nchalo and the Shire Valley. So we would like to ask the Honorable Minister if he can consider to give us a decent market at the Nchalo Trading Center. I submit, Right Honorable Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you. I now give the floor to the honorable member, the newly elected member of Lilongwe City Bwaira constituency. Honorable member, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Deputy, Second Deputy Speaker. I would like to, not 30 minutes, I would like to follow with the Minister of Local Government on the following markets. We have Soga Market, Lilongwe Central Market, and of course Lizu Market. If you look at these markets, we don't have structures that are fit to be called markets within our cities. I know every budget they mention, and of course the other budget, they also mention that they are planning to build a three-story building market within the constituency. But we still have these markets that needs our attention. Toilets and other important facilities within these markets. I would want to ask the minister, when or what are the plans do we have on the ground to at least upgrade these mentioned markets? Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you so much, honorable member for Lilongwe City Bwaira. Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. I rise to answer the three supplementary questions. Let me first of all thank the people of Mulanje West for their question. Basically, the question was expressing concern and worry about the staffing and also linking to contractors that some staff have been transferred from other constituencies into Mulanje West, and therefore the people of Mulanje West are worried about the staff who are supposed to be in Mulanje West, and also that this may also affect some contractors. This seems to be an administrative issue, and therefore I will take note and report to the Honourable Minister to reconcile the recruitment process which was taking place a few months, which has just concluded, so that the people of Mulanje West are considered for employment in their constituency. And also that the contractors for Mulanje, those within Mulanje West, should also be considered. I've taken note, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, and I will request my brother and the Minister of Local Government and Rural Development to reconsider Mulanje West. Thank you, Madam. Let me agree with you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, that the people of Nkhotakota Nkula basically is a substantive question and they should raise it as a new question to be addressed. So I do agree with you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Let me now turn to the people of Chikwawa Central West, especially people of Senior Chief Mugabu and the Paramount Chief Lundu. Let me recognize the fact that indeed Nchalo Trading Center is a very vibrant, big and important trading center along the road from Nsanje, passing through Chikwawa to Blantyre, to the city of Blantyre. And that it is a trading center which must be developed. I will have therefore, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, taken note of the concern raised by the people of Senior Chief Ngabu and Paramount Chief Rundu for government to consider upgrading or indeed putting a decent market at the Njaro Trading Center. They will be considered by the Minister of Local Government because the government appreciates and acknowledges that Njaro Trading Center must be upgraded. Let me turn now to the people of Lilongwe City, Bwaira. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Before I address their question, Madam Second Speaker, Madam, allow me to first of all congratulate the Honourable Member for winning that contentious seat. Congratulations and welcome to Parliament. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam. The people of Lilongwe City, Bwaira, are asking about the fate or indeed the situation of three markets, namely Tsoka Market, Lilongwe, and what they call the Zulu Market. These markets are located within the city center or the city of Lilongwe. Government is aware, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, that our city must be beautiful, must look beautiful with the structures befitting the city. The government, therefore, will consider, do an assessment, and consider these three markets that they must be upgraded. Government has taken note, and the Minister of Local Government will do an assessment and probably source funds over and above the reformed CDF to make sure that the markets of Soka Market, Lilongwe, and Lizulu are properly upgraded. I thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Leader, guidance. And before you, there is a point of order from Blantyre City. Is it Blantyre City, Misesa constituency? What has gone out of order?
Thank you very much, Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people of Blantyre City, Chichiri Misesa. I would want to put to attention to the Honorable Member, our newly elected Honorable Member for Lilongwe Bwaira. In his question, he questioned as to when the three-story building market is going to start.
Honorable Member, can I guide you?
Is it in order?
Can I give
Is
my
it in
guidance?
order, Second Deputy
Can I
Speaker?
give my guidance, Honorable Member? Honorable Member. Honorable Member, resume your seat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Honorable. Because you are reflecting on a question on another member, I do not want to give you that space for you to raise a point of order. Thank you. Honorable Leader.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I beg to move that we vary the order paper in order for us to deal with item C, matter of urgent public importance under Standing Order 14. The Honorable Minister, the Honorable Member of Lilongwe Msinja, to raise the matter of urgent public importance. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable. Thank you so much, Honorable Leader of the House. I now recognize Honorable Member for Lilongwe Nsinja South constituency to ask his question. Thank you so much. Honorable, before you, Honorable, resume your seat. Thank you. Table clerk.
General business, item 2C, matter of urgent public importance, understanding order 14. The Honorable Member for Lilongwe Msinja South constituency to present his issue.
Thank you. Honorable Member for Lilongwe Nsinja constituency.
All right. Second right, Honorable Speaker, Madam. I was submitting to say the upward adjustment of mobile internet bundle tariffs by countries to major mobile network, TNM and Airtel, has increased the cost of accessing essential digital services at a time when we know that many households, students, small-scale businesses, and job seekers are already facing service economic hardship. The Minister, people of Lilongwe Nsinja South constituency have noted that internet connectivity has become an essential public utility supporting education, healthcare, agriculture, entrepreneurship, digital financial services, and access to government services. The rising cost of digital connectivity, therefore, Right Honourable Speaker, the second, risk widening one, digital exclusion, reducing economic productivity, and undermining the government digital transformation agenda. I therefore, people of Lilongwe Nsinja South constituency would like to have a comprehensive explanation from the Minister on the basis of one, why the tariff adjustment? Have you assessed the socio-economic impact on consumers and small businesses? And have you considered appropriate policy and measures aimed at promoting affordable, transparent, and inclusive digital connectivity in Malawi? I submit for a comprehensive response from the Minister. Thank you, second right, Honourable Speaker, Madam. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member. I would like to guide the House as follows. Members will give their contributions. Afterwards, I will give to government to clarify. So I will recognize takers on the floor. I now recognize Honorable Member for Lilongwe City Lumbas. You have the floor, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, for giving a chance to the people for Lilongwe City Lumbas constituency to make a contribution on the matter that has been brought on the table by Lilongwe Nsinja. Without emphasizing much on what has been explicitly explained, I would like to second that the minister responsible should really make a comprehensive statement on the matter. We would like to underscore the fact that this is a democratic country. It is being run and led by a government of reputation, and therefore for anyone else just to wake up taking advantage of the economic challenges on the ground and to just wake up and start punishing people with the punitive taxes and whatever increments, I think this is a bit unfair. We have to appreciate as a House that the citizens of Malawi are already paying through the nose in most of the transactions that they are doing. And I think it's high time that this House stood up and exert pressure on all business entities that are taking advantage of the situation and stop such a malpractice. To this effect, Right Honourable Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to, in a matter of seconding what has been said, I would like to urge the Minister to seek a possibility of rescinding the decision that these two service providers have exerted on the Malawi nation. Thank you, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker. Madam.
Thank you, Honorable. I now recognize the Honorable Member for Blantyre City South, who is also the Commissioner. You have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, for recognizing the people of Blantyre, Soji, Zingwangwa, to also echo sentiments made by other members' concerns with regards to the rising tariffs, internet. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, youth in this country, I think over the past month, I could say they've been hit with a double blow, which I hope we are cushioning. The fees hike, and now the increase in internet tariffs. Most of our libraries do not have sufficient books, textbooks. Most of us students rely on the internet to study and to access information to allow them to advance in their studies. Most of our young people in this country, some of them rather, I think this is also in line with what we were advocating for last time on monetization. We've got a good chunk of young people in this country who are making money through the digital space, who are taking advantage of the economic opportunities that are there because of digitization. So an increase, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, an increase in data, internet prices affects students, youth in general. So I would like to echo my fellow members what plans the minister has to sort of cushion and to enhance this. Thank you, Madam.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I now recognize the Honorable Member for Zomba City North, who is also the leader of government bank benches. Thank you. Honorable Leader of Bank Benches.
Thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, for according the people of Zomba City North to add a voice on the matter being discussed on the floor. We are living in a digital age, in a digital era. As such, the importance of internet or data bundles cannot be overemphasized. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the rising cost that we are discussing now is a drawback to the development of this country. As we are aware that for one to make a tangible or to come up with a tangible research, one relies on the internet that provides informed information for one to come up with a position. Many are the times that even the calls themselves are dropped midway through a conversation. You buy data bundles, in no time it is consumed as if it has got wings and it has flown as aviator. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, even the expiry of data bundles leaves a lot to be desired. I wanted to propose, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the companies that we have are not competitive. If it were possible to have some more companies so that the rates should be very competitive and people should afford to have very affordable data bundles. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I wish that the Minister is responding to these issues. Maybe it should come out clear that if it is possible that we invite some other companies so that there should be a very competitive market here in Malawi. I submit, Second Deputy Speaker, Madam.
Thank you, Leader of Back Benches. I now recognize the Honorable Member for Nchinji South. Honorable Member, you have the floor.
Thank
you so much, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, for recognizing the people from Chinji South to also contribute on the matter of the national importance brought in the House by the Honorable Member from Lilongwe, Msinja South. I simply want to expound on the same, that the importance of internet now cannot be overemphasized. Internet is actually playing a big role in the development of the world as well as the country. Nowadays, you agree with me that internet is actually helping in the learning. It's also helping in the agriculture. And even the government itself is also going e-government, which means the importance of internet is very profound. But now, having such prices, having such high charges on the internet will actually deny us that development. It is the duty of the government to make sure that the internet bundles or internet charges are affordable to all the people so that they can meet the requirements or they can have the needs that we all need. As I've said, everything now, agriculture, healthy, learning, they're all going internet. So we shouldn't have prohibitive charges for the individuals to afford the internet bundles. So I simply wanted to stand in support of what Lilongwe Msinja brought in the House. I so submit, Second Deputy Speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Member for Nchinji South. Honorable Member for Kasungu Central, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, for recognizing the people of Mawango, Suza, Kapaizi, to put its thoughts and voice on the issue that we are discussing today in the House, the internet. Few years ago, when we were talking about the internet, that seemed like a luxury. But Madam Deputy Speaker, Madam, internet today, it's a need. Our companies, they are pushing us back and pushing us off the tangent with our Agenda 2063, where we aim to have 80% connectivity as a nation. Looking at the numbers, 22.5% hike by Airtel. And looking at the same numbers, 26 thereabout percent by TNM Malawi. We are making the internet not accessible. When you look at the education sector, now we're moving towards e-learning. People need to get educated via the internet. But now with this cost, the youth cannot afford. When you look at the social impact in terms of SMEs, Malawian youth have adopted the modern ways of doing business, moving away from infrastructures, solid buildings, to internet selling, taking orders, WhatsApp statuses, Facebook posting. But now if they post a picture, before you can view the picture, data is depleted. Now let's look at the quality of this expensive data. This whole house can agree with us that in Malawi, even driving in the city of Lilongwe, you are passing by the interchange, you have dead zone, where the internet cannot connect, but it's in the city. You're driving in Blantyre, around College of Medicine, there's no internet. Yet they have their towers, and the prices keeps on going high, and the quality keeps on dropping down. It's high time we hold these companies accountable. We demand value for money. It's high time that we create a policy direction and open doors for multiple investors to start investing in telecommunications. Because as of now, we are moving towards Stone Age. We need to get connected, but we are disconnected by hikes of prices. Nowhere to run. Everything is going up and up and up, including connectivity. Madam Second Deputy, Madam, I would like to submit the people of Kasungu Central would like to see us as a house pay attention and make sure we help the Malawian youth do business and be independent. I submit.
Thank you so much, Honorable. I now give the floor to the Honorable Member for Lilongwe Nkhoma, a lady MP on the list. Honorable, you have the floor.
The second Deputy Speaker, Madam, thank you for recognizing the people of
Honorable
Lilongwe.
Member, Honorable Member for, is it Nchisi? The Honorable Member discussing with the Deputy Leader, you are out of order. Continue, Honorable.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. I just want to agree with the fellow honorable members who have spoken regarding the internet hikes. Indeed, these days, internet is not only for luxury, it's a source of all communications. My question to the Ministry of Information, much as I understand that these companies to operate, they need to balance their investment and what they get after sales. Do we have any reports why internet has been increased? And if they have given reasons, do we have any cushions that the government is doing to assist that these companies should be able to sustain in their operations, while Malawians are also assisted in terms of accessibility of cheaper internet services? I submit, Madam Secretary Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to ask the Honorable Minister responsible for communication technology, who is also the Deputy Leader of the House, to respond to the queries from members of Parliament. Honorable Minister, you have the floor.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker and the entire House, I rise to respond to a matter of urgent public importance raised by the Honourable Member for Lilongwe Nsinja South, and also which matter has been seconded by a number of honourable members in the House. And this matter is regarding the recent adjustments in mobile internet tariffs by Airtel Malawi Limited and as well as the Telecom Networks Malawi, TNM. Madam Deputy Speaker, Madam, let me begin by assuring this Honourable House and the people of Malawi that this government, under the able leadership of His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, remains fully committed to ensuring that all Malawians have access to affordable and inclusive digital services. This commitment is unwavering and forms a cornerstone of our national development agenda as articulated in the Malawi 2063 vision. Now, let me provide a background to this issue. Madam Speaker, Madam, I wish to, as I said, to provide a comprehensive explanation of the circumstances that led to the recent tariff adjustments. Airtel Malawi and TNM submitted applications to the Malawi Communications Regulatory Authority, MACRA, requesting approval to revise tariffs for voice, SMS, and mobile data services by an average of 55%. I would want members to take note. 55% was what was requested by our two only mobile operators, Airtel Malawi and TNM. And this was done in the months of April and May. The applications were made pursuant to Section 74 of the Communications Act, Chapter 68/01, which requires that all tariff adjustments by licensed communication service providers must receive prior approval from the regulatory authority, in this case, MACRA. Madam Speaker, Madam Deputy Speaker, in their submissions, the licensees justified the proposed adjustments on the basis of a significant increase in their cost of doing business emanating from macroeconomic shifts that occurred between October 2025 and March 2026. Specifically, the operators cited the following, and I would want members here to note, and Malawians to note, that fuel prices increased by around 144%, heavily impacting network operations, site power generation, and logistics. Electricity tariffs increased by 8%, directly affecting the cost of powering over 1,860 sites nationwide. I would want the honorable member and other members to note that telecommunication is driven by energy, and energy in form of electricity as well as diesel power. Madam Deputy Speaker, this energy, as I said about energy about diesel and electricity, constitutes about 39% of total network costs. Due to intermittent electricity supply, many network sites rely on diesel-powered generators to maintain continuous availability of their services. And as you note, in the period from October to date, we have had price increases in fuel to the extent that about 56.2% has been the cost related to these increases. Madam Deputy Speaker, notwithstanding these justifications for the increase in tariffs, due consideration was given to consumer protection in terms of affordability and potential effects of the proposed tariff adjustments on households, students, small-scale businesses, job seekers who are already facing severe economic hardship.
Honorable Minister, I would like to ask the Honorable Whip to extend the time for you to finish your response. Honorable Government Whip, you have the floor.
Thank you so much, Second Deputy Speaker. I beg to move that time be extended in order to allow the Honorable Minister of Information to complete responding to the questions. I submit, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you so much, Government Whip. Honorable members, there is a question. The question is that time should be extended in order to allow the Honorable Minister to finish responding to the queries and questions raised by the Honorable members. Those of the opinion say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Honorable Minister.
Madam Deputy Speaker, I just gave a background. I was giving a background of why we are here and what happened. Now, I was saying that when we looked at their request, the request from TNM and Airtel, and in the exercise of its regulatory mandate under the Communications Act, MACRA did not approve the full tariff increase of 55%. Instead, an approval for moderate tariff adjustment of 22.2% for Airtel Malawi and 26% for TNM was granted. Madam Deputy Speaker, the approved adjustments were deemed sufficient to enable cost recovery and maintain financial viability, which is essential for continued investment in digital infrastructure. And we're doing this while minimizing the burden on consumers. This balanced approach reflects government's commitment to both sustaining a viable telecommunications sector and protecting the welfare of consumers. So it is really for balancing. We are in the middle. We are looking at sustaining and ensuring that there is continued provision of services, but on the other side, we are also looking at consumers must be protected. Madam Deputy Speaker, you may also wish to know the following. After MACRA had approved the adjustment, according to Section 74 of the Communications Act 2016, requires that licensed operators must publish the tariffs in at least 2 daily newspapers, and this must be done 7 days before the tariffs come into effect. And this requirement is there to ensure that consumers are fully informed of the changes and have sufficient time to make informed decisions. However, what was noted is that both Airtel and TNM proceeded to effect the charges before complying with this statutory requirement. When MACRA discovered this, it intervened, and this is the intervention. You may have seen today that there is also a statement that MACRA has issued that requires that TNM and Airtel must compensate the consumers who bought the units before, or who bought the data before the 7-day notice period, and specifically those that bought the data between 26th June 2026 to 2nd July 2026. This compensation is intended to remedy the impact of the premature implementation of the revised tariffs and restore consumers to the position which would have been there had it been that the statutory notice was observed. And this directive they must be done by 31st July, the restoration and paying back the cost, the excess or the increase that was effected before this 7-day required period was effected. Now, Madam Deputy Speaker, just also to emphasize that this government does not tolerate non-compliance. Consumers must be treated fairly, and the laws of the land must be reflected. And we shall continue to monitor how our MNOs, mobile operators, are performing. Now, the honorable members also asked my ministry to indicate measures that we are pursuing to ensure that we promote affordability and inclusivity in digital connectivity. I must say that the government of His Excellency, Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, is not just watching. It is working actively to ensure that we reach out, everyone is included in the digital revolution, And also as we do that, connectivity is affordable. And the following is what we are doing. Number one, spectrum license fee reduction. As we speak now, we have effected a 20% reduction in the spectrum licenses, and these are the fees that the MNOs or the mobile operators pay for them to provide their services. Number two, we do have the Digital Malawi Acceleration Project. It's for about $150 million, funded by World Bank, and the government is using these funds to invest in mobile network tower development to boost coverage and digital inclusion. And this is particularly in those remote areas and deserved areas. Again, both Airtel Malawi and TNM have been directed to invest in network expansion, optimizing improved service availability and quality of service. I'm actually pleased to inform this House that Airtel Malawi has rolled out 5G in almost 10 towns or 10 cities in this country. So too, TNM is commencing 5G trials in collaboration with Huawei. So this demonstrates that the sector remains viable, vibrant, and investment ready. Now, we are also looking at getting new operators to enter into the market. And because with that, then we are going to increase more competition. As we speak now, we only have 2 operators. Now, I also want to provide a background quickly. In the past, we have issued licenses to operators who never rolled out service. And this has been our history. In 2002, we issued a license to Malawi Mobile Limited. It never rolled out, and the license was revoked in 2005, 3 years after being issued. In 2008, we also issued another license to G-Mobile. It was revoked. The license was revoked because it never rolled out. In 2001, another operator was issued a license, Celcom Limited. It never rolled out. In 2015, we have LaSalle, also got a license. And as we came to 2017, no rollout. So over the 20 years, while we have issued licenses, but we have never seen any serious investor, serious operator to roll out. Now, we now have TNM and Airtel. Wisdom would suggest that you do not slaughter a chicken that lays the eggs, but you ensure that you nurture it so that as it lays the eggs, you have also more chickens coming. So this is the kind of situation that government was in to ensure that while the network operators are saying their costs have increased by 55% on average, we can give them around 22% because we want continuity. We want continuity in that regard. So, let me conclude. Let me conclude by reiterating the government stance that under His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, we are fully seized of the challenges that are there. The challenges that Malawians, yes, they need to afford digital services, they need to afford cheaper data, they need to afford devices, smartphones. The challenge that our youth, because this industry is the only one that promises to create jobs, And with that realization, this government will ensure that it creates a conducive sector that both consumers as well as operators will win. Therefore, these adjustments, and the adjustments is 22%, is a result of thorough and balanced regulatory process that ensures that we have also tomorrow, not only for today. Oftentimes, and I must say this, we seem not to think about tomorrow. We seem not to invest about tomorrow. We seem to be saying, let's consume now. We have a short-termism in our approach to things. In the ministry, we are balancing that. We are saying, let's ensure that the operations are sustainable for tomorrow, for our grandchildren. But at the same time, Malawians must also not be bombarded with a lot of costs, but must ensure that the service is also available. With that, Madam Deputy Speaker, I would like therefore to thank the Honourable Member for Lilongwe Nsinja for raising this important matter, and for the members that have also added their voice. Thank you very much. This marks the response for the question that came on the floor. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Leader, who is also the Honorable Minister of Information and Technology. Honorable members, I know that some members have questions to the Honorable Minister. I would like to remind the members to engage the Honorable Minister personally, because the motion we had was to extend the time to allow the Honorable Minister to finish the response. So,
Madam Deputy Speaker, it may sound irregular, but I just need to add one point. The cost of data in this country, even with the 22%, still remains the lowest in SADC region. I would want members to take note of that. In South Africa, the costs are over $1 per gigabyte. In Zambia, it's $8 per gigabyte. I have the data here I can share with you. So while we are looking at the 22%, that's why I said sustainability should be an issue. And I just wanted to share that information so that you can also appreciate. Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
thank you so much, Honorable Leader, Deputy Leader of the House. I now, Honorable Deputy Leader, give you the floor for announcements or guidance on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. First of all, I want to thank you, Madam, and the Speakership for presiding over this week in a professional manner, but also I should extend the same appreciation to the members for availing themselves in this House, representing their people. Next week, on Monday, we shall continue with questions to ministers for oral replies, but we shall also consider presentation of committee reports as well as delegation reports. And should there be, as we get towards Friday, we may consider government business, particularly tackling bills. We do have 2 bills that are already on the order paper. Constituency statements, members should also be available. Those that are ready with constituency statements would also be considering them. Otherwise, from the government side here and from the leadership, we wish you a wonderful weekend. May God bless you. Go and save your people. We are here because of the people that brought us. Thank you very much, Madam Deputy Speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Leader, who is also a Minister for Information. Honorable members, I have got 2 announcements to make. The first one is that I would wish to inform the House that we have a student from Praise Private School from Lilongwe City, Chipalanafisi constituency. If they are still there in the gallery, I would like to ask them to stand up. I think they have already left. But we thank them for coming to Parliament, and we thank the Honorable MP for facilitating that. The second announcement, Honorable members, is coming from the office of the Chair of the Women Parliamentary Caucus of the Parliament of Malawi. The Chair would like to remind all lady MPs to attend the training organized by Oxfam Malawi and its partners without fail. Honorable members, it's now 12:47. I now adjourn the House to Monday, 20th July at 2:00 p.m. House adjourned.
Usaiwala kupanga subscribe ku channel ya AMTV Malawi.